Good evening, I'm Mark Ivy. Welcome to the latest edition of Kernels from the Cornfield. No huss, no halls, no shucks. News with a dash of commentary to spice up your fare for Tuesday, June 17th, 2014. It's about time. Ahmed Abu Khattala, alleged leader of the September 11, 2012 raid on the U.S. diplomatic mission in Benghazi, Libya, which resulted in the murder of 4 Americans, including the U.S. ambassador, has been captured. He is currently aboard a U.S. warship being questioned. As the mother of one of the slain Americans asked today, what took so long? My question, why now? Could it be because a CNN ORC poll revealed that 6 in 10 Americans are dissatisfied with the way the Benghazi terrorist attack and investigation has been handled? Could it be because 61% of Americans think the administration has been dishonest? No mystery. Anyone who watched the CNN town hall with former First Lady, former New York Senator, and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton can attest, contrary to her denial that she's not made a decision, Hillary is running for president until she's not. There's no doubt about it. Speaking of Hillary, during the town hall today, Hillary said she's still looking for answers to the Benghazi tragedy. This raises the inquiry of why is she still looking when she told U.S. senators, at this point, what difference does it make? Because it always made a difference, then and now. That is why. Time to go. It is evident as the U.S. moves closer and closer to being sucked in again in Iraq that it is way past time for Shiite dictator Nouri al-Maliki to go. There can be no peace and no unity in Iraq as long as he stays in power. Highlighting the need for Maliki to step aside are reports that the Iraqi military executed some 40 Sunni prisoners last night. This is the same tactic that the Islamic State in Iraq and Syria, ISIS, is guilty of doing, and which a United Nations official says is a war crime. Shooting craps. As President Barack Obama meets with his National Security Council and members of the congressional leadership to weigh the options to deal with the crisis in Iraq, it is like shooting craps in Las Vegas. You never know what a roll of the dice may turn up. This is a time when the old saying is apt, damned if we do and damned if we don't. Maybe we shouldn't have reassessed that red line. The enemy of my enemy. With Iran being the main Shia stronghold and backer of Shiites worldwide, the Persian country is sending troops to prop up fellow Shiite Maliki against the insurgents of ISIS, which has support from the Sunni tribes. This is leading to accusations that the home of Sunniism, Saudi Arabia, is fomenting the insurrection in the land between the Tigris and Euphrates. The attacking ISIS and Sunni forces are now within 40 miles of the nation's capital. The U.S. has had no direct dealings with Iran since the 1979 capture of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and the taking of our American personnel and families hostage. For over 3 decades, Iran has been the enemy. Now in a twist of fate to battle and repel the Al-Qaeda-inspired ISIS, the U.S. and Iran are talking strategy to defeat the terror group's march on Baghdad. In the meantime, Iran continues to pursue a nuclear bomb unimpeded. Yesterday's crisis. What has slipped from the headlines? Ukrainians are mourning 49 lives lost when a military plane was shot down by Russian separatists as European leaders complained to Moscow. People are asking how to cook since Russian natural gas giant Gazprom cut off the flow as the Ukraine, Russia, and the company couldn't come to terms on payment. But that's yesterday's crisis. Red states versus EPA. Don't be surprised to find red states, not just coal states, mounting legal challenges to the EPA's announced new regulations that will reduce carbon emissions while raising the cost of electricity, laying off workers, and closing power plants. Louisiana Governor Bobby Jindal is threatening legal action. Texas Governor Rick Perry says the EPA is acting unconstitutionally. In the Cornfield, a major coal state, our leadership plans to fight the EPA to save jobs and keep costs lower while still working towards lower carbon emissions. All of these elected officials and their constituents are for clean air and water. They just want to do so in what they believe is a rational and logical way, which has less of an economic impact. It wasn't Kansas, but remember in The Wizard of Oz when Dorothy and Toto were caught up by a twister and transported to the land of Oz from their Kansas farm country? The only real tragedy then was when the house fell on the Wicked Witch. Monday, however, it was Nebraska staring in disbelief of two monster tornadoes touching down and racing across the prairie. Images of the twin twisters are amazing and stunning. It took me back to 1976. I was crossing southern Texas returning from Galveston to my home in Leesville, Louisiana. To the south and left of me was the Gulf of Mexico, where a hurricane was moving onto shore. The waves were already lapping across the beach and turning the highway into a waterway. I looked north to my right to see three tornadoes setting down on the flatland. Scary times. My heart and thoughts go out to Nebraskans who died and those who survived but left destitute. Rest in peace to the fans and admirers as well as surviving family. Prayers and thoughts on the passing of Baseball Hall of Famer Tony Gwynn, an American icon, radio host, and voice artist Casey Kasem, who lost their fights to disease. May they rest in peace. Pump check. Hope your gas tank is full. With Iraq burning, gas prices are soon to soar. This past Friday, I filled up John's van when the price was $3.68 per gallon. A mere hour passed, and the price had jumped 27 cents to $3.95 per gallon. Today, it is at $3.84. Don't be surprised to find the pump price to jump well beyond $4 if the smoke doesn't clear soon in the Persian Gulf. Well, that's what caught my attention for Tuesday, June 17, 2014. Tune in tomorrow for another episode of Kernels from the Cornfield. I am Mark Ivy. Good evening.